My dear shareholder friends, good afternoon. I know some of you have signed in from different parts of the world where it may be morning or evening. So greetings of the day to all of you. I hope you and your loved ones are safe and taking good care amid the global pandemic. Thank you all for attending this annual general meeting. I am Anand Deshpande, founder, chairman and managing director of Persistent Systems Limited. And on behalf of all of us, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 30th annual general meeting of the company. As the 10-day lockdown in Pune ended earlier this morning, I have come to our office and am present in an empty Devang Mehta auditorium in our registered office, Bhagirath on Senapati Bapat Road. On stage, here with me, I have Mr. Amit Atre, our company secretary. We are all maintaining social distancing and all executives and directors have joined this meeting online. We are hosting this meeting through video conferencing in accordance with the circulars issued by MCA and SEBI. We want to do our best to make this meeting as normal as possible and would like you to participate in the meeting like you always do. This year, you can interact with us through video conferencing, through the Q&A box in your screen, or through Twitter. We are tracking Twitter with hashtag PersistentAGM2020 for today's meeting. Most of you would have already voted on the resolutions. Those of you who have not had the opportunity to do so can vote online until 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time today. As we have enough members who have joined this meeting and as quorum is present, I declare the meeting has commenced. I will now request Amit to share with you some useful information about today's video conferencing setup so that you have a delightful experience in the meeting.
Thank you, Anand. And let me also welcome all the members. Let me take you through some instructions to facilitate your participation in today's AGM through video conferencing. All members joining this meeting will be put on mute by the moderator to avoid any background noise and to ensure smooth and seamless conduct of this meeting. Please double-click on the WebEx content window to see in full screen mode. Some of you have already expressed an interest to speak and ask questions in this meeting. You must have received a link to participate as a speaker. If you have not received a speaker link, please write to us at investors@persistent.com sharing your Demat account number and desire to be registered as a speaker, and we will send you a speaker link. This would be essential for you to speak at this meeting. You will also be able to type in your questions in the question and answer box anytime during this meeting. We will read aloud all the questions received in the Q&A box. You may also ask a question on Twitter with hashtag PersistentAGM2020. We will also be reading these questions during the meeting. Once the question and answer session starts, we will announce the name of shareholders who are in the queue to ask questions. Speaker shareholders will be unmuted sequentially by us. When it is your turn, you are requested to click on Video On button so that you are visible to the audience. If for some reason you are not able to join through the video mode, you may choose to speak through the audio only mode. While speaking, we request you to use headset for better audio clarity and ensure that you have adequate lighting and internet bandwidth for a clear video quality. If there is any connectivity problem at the speaker's end, we will ask the next shareholder to join. You will be added back to the queue and you will be called again to speak when other shareholders complete their turn. We request the speakers to be crisp and limit their speech to 3 minutes. Please note that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of the time at the AGM. The company has provided the facility to cast the votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice. Members who had not had opportunity to cast their votes electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes during the meeting through e-voting system provided by NSDL up to 6:30 p.m. IST. Members are requested to refer to the instructions provided in the AGM notice and also appearing on the video conferencing page for a pleasant experience of participating in the AGM through video conferencing. During the meeting, in case any member faces any difficulty, they may reach out on the helpline numbers provided in the AGM notice. Thank you, and I hand this back to the chairman.
Thank you, Amit. I will now request all directors to introduce themselves one by one. To facilitate this process, I will call on them one by one. First, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Christopher O'Connor.
Good afternoon and good morning to all of you. I, Christopher O'Connor, Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, welcome all of you to this meeting. I'm attending this meeting from my home in North Carolina, and it is currently 6:36 in the morning. Good wishes to the shareholders. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Chris. Executive Director and President of the Technology Services Unit, Mr. Sandeep Kalra.
Good afternoon, good morning to you all. I, Sandeep Kalra, Executive Director, welcome you all for this meeting. I'm joining this meeting from New Jersey. It's 6:36 a.m. here. Best wishes to you and your families in this current pandemic. Thank you.
Executive Director and Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Sunil Sapre.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sunil Sapre here, joining from Mumbai. Good to see you all and hope you're all doing well. Look forward to interacting with you. Thank you.
Independent Director and Chairman of the Audit Committee and Risk Management Committee, Mr. Praveen Kadle. I think he is having difficulty. We'll get him back after some time. Independent Director and Chairman of Nomination and Remuneration Committee and the Chairman of the Corporate Social Responsibility Committee, Mr. Pradeep Bhargav.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Pradeep Bhargav, Independent Director and Chairman of the Nomination and Remuneration Committee of Persistent. I welcome you all for this meeting. I'm attending this meeting from my home in Pune, and this is 4:13 in my local time. Welcome you once again and wish you best health in these times. Anand.
Thank you. Independent Director and Chairman of the Stakeholders Relationship Committee, Padma Shri Professor Deepak Phatak.
Good afternoon to all. I'm Professor Deepak Phatak, a teacher from IIT Bombay. I'm an independent director and chairman of Stakeholders Relationship Committee. I welcome you all for this meeting. I'm attending this meeting from Powai, Mumbai, from my home at 4:09 local time. I request you to take care and stay safe during this COVID-19 pandemic. Namaskar.
Thank you, Professor. Next, we have signing in from Singapore, Independent Director, Mrs. Roshni Bakshi.
Good afternoon to all of you. Signing in from Singapore at 6:39 p.m. here. I'm Roshni Bakshi. I'm very happy to attend this really special meeting that we are all having this time. Hope you and your families are safe, and I truly look forward to us all meeting back in person at the next AGM.
Thank you, Roshni. Signing in from south of France, Independent Director, Mr. Guy Eiferman.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you through video conference. I'm Guy Eiferman. I'm an independent director at Persistent. It's right now 12:39 p.m. in the south of France. I wish you a great meeting and As it was said, I look forward to the discussion and hope everybody is safe. Back to you, Anand.
Thank you, Guy. Next, let me invite signing in from San Jose, California, very, very early in the morning, Independent Director Dr. Anand Jingran.
Hello, everyone. This is Anand Jingran, Independent Director from California. It's about 3:40 a.m., but it's not early to be with all of you. I welcome you to the AGM, and I hope and pray that all of you are safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand. Now, let me invite from Dallas, Texas, non-executive, non-independent director, Mr. Thomas Kendra.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for attending our annual general meeting. I'm Tom Kendra. I'm a non-executive and non-independent director of Persistent Systems. I want to welcome all of you. I'm calling in from Dallas, Texas. It's about 5:40 a.m. I hope it's a great meeting today. I know it will be, and I hope you all take care of yourselves and your family. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, Tom. Now, let me invite independent director, Mr. Prakash Telan.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Prakash Telang, Independent Director. I am attending this meeting from my residence in Pune. The time here is 11 minutes past 4 o'clock. It's a very unusual meeting. All of us are sitting very remote. But I do hope all of you are very safe and hope to interact with you sometime in the future. Thank you.
And finally, independent director, Mr. Kiran Umrutkar.
Yes, I, Kiran Umrutkar, Independent Director, welcome you all to this meeting. I'm attending this meeting from my home in Mumbai. And please take good care of yourself. And I wish you all the best.
Okay, now I'm going to call out again independent director and chairman of the audit committee and also the risk management committee, Mr. Praveen Kadle.
Good afternoon, good morning. This is Praveen Kadle, independent director and also the audit committee chairman as well as the risk committee chairman. I'm attending this meeting through this videocon facility from my residence in Bombay. Thank you and take care.
Thank you, Praveen. Let me also thank all of you for your participation. On this video conference, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. S.P. Deshpande, better known as Dada Deshpande, co-promoter of the company, who has joined us from his home. Present in the meeting are Mr. Bharat Shetty, partner, and Mr. Akshay Bajaj of Messrs. Walker Chandiok and Company LLP. They are our statutory auditors. We also have Mr. C.K. Joshi, Mrs. Tejashree Joshi, and Mr. Kaustubh Deshpande of Messrs. Joshi Apte and Company, our tax auditors. Pallavi Saunke of Messrs. PVS and Associates, secretarial auditors of the company for the financial year 2019-20. They have also been appointed as scrutinizers for e-voting at this meeting. Mr. Ashok Gupta of Messrs. Link in Time India, registrar and share transfer agent of the company, is also present. Thank you all very much for joining this annual general meeting. I would like to inform the members that the annual report for financial year 2019-20, notice of the AGM, the register of members, the register of directors and key management personnel, the shareholding register of directors and key management personnel, the register of contracts or arrangements in which directors are interested, the certificate from the statutory auditors regarding the implementation of ESOP schemes, the draft letter of appointment of Mr. Praveen Kadle, and copies of newspaper advertisements about the VC facility and this AGM are available online for inspection by the members during this meeting. They are located on the company website under the investor section, and they are also available on the NSDL website. As the meeting is being held through video conferencing, the facility for appointment of proxies by the members is not applicable, and hence the proxies register is not available for inspection. This is our 30th annual general meeting, and I would like to play a short video that highlights our journey over the 30 years?
When N. Vittal, Secretary of the Department of Electronics, called on individuals working in the US to set up software export companies in India, Anand Deshpande, who was working with HP Labs in the US after completing his PhD, was inspired to return to India and start something of his own. While in the US, Anand asked his father, Dada Deshpande, to incorporate a company on his behalf. On May 30th, 1990, Persistent was formally incorporated. That was 30 years ago and the start of the Persistent journey. It took a long time to get things set up. It wasn't easy, and the infrastructure posed a major challenge. Finally, we secured our first working space in March 1991 at Software Technology Park at Post Road, a small 350 square foot office, which is where it all began. Persistent was the first company to be incorporated as a part of STPI. Our first contract was with GIP Altair 2 Technologies, a French company focused on object databases.
When Anand started Persistent Systems, he called me and told me about his new company. I really liked the idea that he went back to his country and start there rather than stay in the US and become an American like everybody else. So I had some budget for subcontracting in my organization, and we needed some work done. I'm actually not totally sure what the topic was. I think it was either testing a piece of software or porting it onto a new environment. So it was a well-defined project, and I think this was the first contract Persistent Systems ever signed.
Persistent enjoyed early success working with database product companies. This was no accident. After all, Anand had worked in the database area during his PhD. It was a small project from Microsoft in 1992 that proved to be a turning point, giving the small team the confidence to begin approaching other leading technology companies. While these companies have also evolved, they continue to be our customers. The advent of the internet in the mid-90s spurred innovation and new opportunities for Persistent to build a boutique brand as a technology provider. We moved very quickly from Bhosri into the city at Senapati Bapat Road, Pune in 1994, setting up Kapil Vastu. After moving to the new office, we started looking at hiring fresh graduates from IIT Bombay and other leading colleges around Pune. During those early years, we put special efforts into building the right company culture. To embrace sound corporate governance practices, we brought independent directors on the board and started contributing 1% towards community development, building training and learning programs for employees, entering into technical collaborations with top research universities, and hosting international conferences such as VLDB. The company continued to grow slowly and steadily, with our team reaching 100 employees in 1999. This was the first time for a lot of change when we also announced the ESOP plan. Towards the end of 1999, we also received our first external investor, Intel 64 Fund. That year, the company's revenue crossed the 10 crore mark. In 2001, as the market started to come back up again, it was important for us to become focused. It was then decided that Persistent would not jump on the IT outsourcing bandwagon and instead focus on product development and product outsourcing. We were soon clearly recognized as leaders in that space. The 2000s were a time for rapid growth for us. This was the time we constructed a lot of our office building that later became iconic in the city's landscape. In addition to Pagidi, which was already operational since 1998, we constructed Bhagirath in 2001 and Aryabhatta Pingala. We also expanded beyond Pune with centers in Goa and Nagpur. Also, during this time, we reached 1,000 employees and our revenue crossed the 100 crore mark. Our rapid growth caught the attention of Novus Venture Partners and Gabriel Venture Partners, two leading Silicon Valley venture capital firms who invested in Persistent. Working with leading software companies also helped us stay on top of the new technologies, which in turn enabled us to successfully predict and invest in technology trends like cloud, analytics, collaboration, and mobility, disrupting technologies that will redefine the markets in the years to come. Innovation has always been a key aspect of our work, right from our early days, and this was reinforced by the NASSCOM Innovation Award that we received in 2008. During this period of growth, we realized that we had value to provide not just to product companies, but also to the companies who were using these products. As the market started to recover from the global financial crisis, we recognized that our clients were quite keen on us, helping them work with their client ecosystems. This led to our partnerships with IBM and Salesforce that helped broaden our footprint from product development to implementing technology solutions. By this time, our contributions towards NGOs as part of our social responsibility were starting to grow quite substantially. We saw the need for a formalized, structured approach to CSR to ensure long-term investments, continuity, and impact across all our community initiatives. With this in mind, the Persistent Foundation was set up in 2009 and introduced programs across education, healthcare, and community development. During which Persistent became one of the first IPOs in the Indian market after the global financial crisis. It was an overwhelming success, helping to establish Persistent as a global brand. Being a listed company now, Persistent began to get noticed. 2010 to 2019 was a period of global expansion, which involved setting up centers around the world and ushering in a global outlook. As we successfully completed the IPO, our team crossed the 5,000 employee mark and revenue also crossed 1,000 crores. By 2016, digital disruption had forced every business to reevaluate their business models and evolve to become robust and agile. Digital transformation was about becoming a software-driven business. Persistent strength in building products for software companies put us in a unique position to respond to the market's needs as customers began the journey of digital transformation. Today, Persistent has evolved into a multifaceted company. While still a trusted partner for product development, we've become a global solutions company that delivers a digital business acceleration and modernization for enterprises. We are helping our clients tackle the complexity of choice and integration inherent in today's technology landscape by creating digital mosaics, multi-cloud, multi-service business architecture, and composable times that together deliver the working applications and processes needed in an enterprise. We are cultivating best-in-class partnerships that form the tiles of the digital mosaic and deliver differentiated value to our clients. Complete with new management and a global team of over 10,600 employees, we are well positioned to capture the opportunity in this new environment. As we enter 2020, we face an unprecedented opportunity to help our clients, employees, and society thrive amidst one of the toughest global crises faced in the last century.
Thank you. That was a really nice film. Now let me invite our Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Chris O'Connor, who will share highlights of the year with you.
Good day and namaste. Barely a year ago, I was with you live. I wish I could be there with you today. But as you all know, worldwide events keep us at home. We're home, we're sheltered. I hope that you, your families, your loved ones, and everybody around you is appropriately taking all the right precautions. We've seen nothing like this before in the world, and I just want to wish you all a heartfelt best wishes in these trying times. It's been exciting times for us as well inside of Persistent. And today what we're going to talk about is how the year's gone by, how we got there, and the types of things we've done. And then show you all the evidence of the things that we've done when Sandeep takes you through his section of the presentation. With no further ado, let's dig in. Let's put last year in retrospective. The key focus item was to get to growth, sustainable, repeatable, patternized, systematic growth across the company. And the wonderful thing about growth is you have to build a working system. And in order to build a working system, you need to focus on the elements of it that compose it. And that's what we did. We focused on 4 key elements that helped us drive growth. You'll hear Sandeep talk about the details of how that happened and some of the evidence that happened, but it was a systematic approach to 4 key areas. We brought the brand to life, not just pretty pictures and not just a new icon, but we brought it to life with our people. We brought it to life in new values. We brought it to life in the way that we approach marketing. We brought it to life in the types of programs and the focus, the maniacal focus on building the reputation of Persistent further into the industry. We focused on our capabilities. We focused on knowing who we are, picking which capabilities we would do and which capabilities we would not do, picking the key verticals, the key horizontals that we wanted to be, and executing on them all at the same time in terms of making sure that we have the right skills, the right capabilities to deliver that systematic digital solution to our customers. We focus first on the customers that we have. We have hundreds and hundreds of customers at any one point in time, and they are ripe to be cross-sold, to be upsold, and to be delivered more value from Persistent, because they too are trying to move forward. And given we're there, it's a natural place to grow. And we delivered quarter-on-quarter growth across these cross-sell and upsell opportunities. And then last, we developed thought leadership, a point of view, standing on the backs of the work that Anand and others have already done. We developed a positioning paper that brings Persistent forward to our different types of buyers, using a digital mosaic to explain how we partner with the best software in the world, how we build the best solution out of that software in the world, and how we add our own software capabilities when needed to that, to build leading edge solutions that enable our customers to both generate new revenue as well as control their costs. So let's talk about key highlights. Let's bring some numbers into this, and let's talk for a second about where we are. We crossed $500 million. It's a great feeling. We have more to do. We have a journey in front of us still to go. But it was good to put $500 million behind us, and we think we're solidly on our way to now working forward to where we're going to go in the future. We grew. We grew a nice number to get ourselves started. We have more work to do, but we were able to grow. And more importantly, we grew in key segments that we focused on. We focused on our banking clients, and we grew. We focused in healthcare life sciences and bringing out new COVID solutions as we went through the coronavirus in its early days of Q4, and we grew. We showed strong growth in areas around Salesforce, around product engineering, our roots. We grew in our largest clients in new key areas that help us balance that revenue. And we grew as an international company. We grew around the world, not just in North America, but we found new exciting clients in India. We found new and exciting clients in Europe. And we added, with the acquisition of Uperience, new people, new team members to help us lead in a total worldwide economy and help us propel the company forward. We added 280 new logos and clients to Persistent. These are people that haven't worked with us before, that now are a part of our Persistent client family that we can engender to nurture and have progress as we look forward. We're also working with our employees. We work on their satisfaction. We work on the number of employees that we have on a daily basis because we're growing. We're always growing. We're adding people. We work on our Net Promoter Score, which is a symbol of our people's work and our projects' works as it's told through the eyes of our customers. 81 is just a fantastic score in the industry for an NPS. Never seen anything like it. And we educate with over 6,900 employees taking training in digital education throughout the course of the year. So not only are they working with clients, but when they come off from a project, we throw them right into education, and we help propel them and move them along, growing our capabilities and growing our ability to grow all at the same time. And then last, as coronavirus set in, and as the worldwide pandemic gripped us all, we donated 25 crore to the worldwide community, to the charities and organizations we felt could use our help the most to be a part of that worldwide community at the same time. Fantastic numbers, more to come. A great start for last year. I think you've seen these numbers already. Just gives you a perspective on who we are. Let's talk for a minute about the pandemic. It's not something we ever imagined. It's unprecedented times. The pandemic had us bring nearly 11,000 employees home in a week. And in that week, we brought all their work home with them. And in bringing that work home, we brought their clients home with them at the same time. We were as prepared, if not better prepared than most, to be able to tackle this challenge. We didn't lose anything in the transition from leaving the office to coming home. We did create unusual work circumstances, and our clients were tremendous working with us, recognizing the value of Persistent with very little change. And we reacted in kind, figuring out how to work from home, how to meet that challenge, and how to adapt to the new reality of what's taken place inside of the world. We did new things. We met every day in a virtual coffee break, in a team room, where the entire company, regardless of geography, got together to swap stories. So it brought us together better as a unit at the same time. While the world dealt with the pandemic, Persistent came closer together, and we worked to help each other, to support each other, as well as to support the clients, as well as to be more active and talk to their clients, because our clients are facing, without a doubt, a new reality. They're having to reduce costs, they're having to optimize cash, they're having to figure out how to work remotely, both with their own employees as well as with their clients and their business partners at the same time. This brings up concerns in security. This brings up concerns in their own customer retention, as well as they are seeking to not only protect the revenue they have, but they too continue to drive for the desire of growth. We find this has been an opportunity. And as you'll hear Sandeep talk about, we capitalized on helping our clients with creativity while working on the human element of making sure that we're protected, that we're safe, and that we're doing the right thing by everybody's family and all the enterprises and the guidelines and rules that they have at the same time. An unprecedented challenge. I'm proud to say that we've pressed through so much of it, and our clients have come back with us and have been there the entire way. So let me take a minute and just bring the whole picture together for you. We're positioned to accelerate growth. We've done the branding work, that work's behind us. We've repositioned our team. We've picked the categories we're going to focus on. That work is behind us. We've developed a point of view. That work is behind us. We've keenly focused on 3 different types of clients and their buying. And that is where we are focused and shall remain focused. And we see accelerated growth as we look forward into our future off of that focus on the 3 different types of buyers that we see in the market today. Those buyers are keenly in tune with digital everywhere. They see the pandemic as having pushed them to do digital projects faster and more prolifically, and we will be there to match them every step of the way. We are focused. We are focused on who we're going to work with. We're focused on the clients that we have. We're focused on how to grow. We have a system, and we're using the system over and over again across all the units of Persistent to be able to accelerate the work that's needed to drive growth. And we have the right partners. We will maximize the partner ecosystem that we have. We've got great work that we've already done to date, and we've expanded, and we'll continue to do that as well, because it is a joined world when you move into the digital world of not just one company, but multiple companies bringing solutions to life for their customers. And those like Persistent that understand that will deliver the greatest value to their clients. I want to take a minute and thank you for having me today. It's my privilege to be here. I look forward to seeing you again. I look forward to seeing you live. I wish all of you a safe stay with your families. I wish all of you a healthy stay for everything that you're enduring right now. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. That was really good. And it was really good to see the focused efforts translating into good results. Thank you for sharing this. Now let me invite Sandeep Kalra, who will share how we plan to execute on the vision that Chris shared.
Good morning, good afternoon, namaste to all of you. In the next few minutes, I will walk you through the execution journey based on the strategy that you just heard from Chris. As we came together in financial year 20, as a management team, we looked at various aspects of our business. We reinforced our partnerships with the likes of AWS, Microsoft Azure, IBM, Salesforce, Appian, OutSystems, and brought in a few other partnerships like the Red Hat and the Google Cloud into the mix. In this journey over the last financial year, we won accolades from partners such as IBM and OutSystems based on the joint business development we did with their field teams with our existing customers and new customers, winning business across board. In the year gone by, we enhanced our visibility at the leading industry events. We participated at events like Dreamforce, which is the flagship event for our partner Salesforce. Similarly, the AWS reInvent, which is the flagship event for AWS. On the cloud side, we participated in other events such as Appian World and OutSystems, NextStep. These are leading platforms for low-code, no-code. And we participated in a number of analyst events like the Constellations Connected Enterprise and so on. In the year gone by, we launched a number of unique solutions in our focus industry segments. These included the Persistent Digital Credit Union solution aimed at the credit unions wanting to be increasingly digital in nature and launch digital products rapidly, decreasing their distance to revenue. Similarly, on the provider landscape, which is a traditionally strong foothold for us in the healthcare industry, we launched a number of solutions, including one that we implemented at Children's Hospital, which was tweeted by Mark Benioff as one of the more innovative, more rapid response towards the COVID-19 situation as well. We continue to advance our leadership in the enterprise software and consumer software. For the 7th year in a row, we were rated by Zinnov in the leadership zone in their ratings that come out in. We were also nominated by HFS Research as a credible alternative to the Salesforce ecosystem in Europe. We continue to evolve on our innovation journey in digital transformation, getting recognized by people like Constellation Research. As we went through the year, many large sourcing advisors such as ISG started noticing us. They started noticing us for our capabilities in the Salesforce ecosystem, for example, where ISG nominated us as one of the rising stars in the Salesforce ecosystem in Europe and globally. On the other side, they also started recognizing our deal participation at scale, and where ISG nominated us as one of the vendors to watch for, one of the top 15 vendors in the sub-billion-dollar category based on the deal flows. Persistent has been widely acknowledged as a great place to work at. In the year gone by, we continue to build on our capabilities in learning and development, investing in the human capital that we have, and winning a number of accolades, whether it was the Leap Vault Award from TIS, whether it was the SHRM HR Excellence Award, or the ATD Best Award Winners list. Similarly, on the corporate governance and ecological sustainability, we won a number of awards. In the face of the pandemic that took us all by surprise, we demonstrated agility. We collaborated with a number of our ecosystem players, whether they were our partners like Salesforce. We built assets such as the Biocomplexity Labs interactive pandemic dashboard, which was used by many people, including the normal public, to track the progress of the pandemic and the efforts to counter thereof. We worked with various medical centers, the provider ecosystems in the US to build capabilities right from their mobile apps to their patient engagement apps to encourage self-triage, going up to nurse triage, and only the people who needed to land up at a hospital would ultimately land up at a hospital, thereby making it more convenient for both the patients as well as the provider segment. We worked very closely with a large customer of ours in launching the first ever COVID-19 kit in the US, getting it FDA approved, working diligently 24/7 with our customers. And finally, we brought it all together like a well-run orchestra. We put a thread through right from our strategy organization, solutions, the front-end business development, and our delivery organizations. We also identified on the way the white spaces that we had. We brought in good talent from outside to complement the existing strong talent that we have at Persistent. We also narrowed down the focus to our strategic accounts. We identified a list of 30 accounts which have the potential to grow with us and where we believe we have credible solutions to add value to them in their digital transformation journeys. We also focus on long-term deals, which are NVT deals, multi-million-dollar, multi-year kind of deals, in order to build a very healthy backlog and fuel the growth on a sustainable basis as we move towards FY21 and beyond. With that, what we achieved is we crossed the $500 million mark, which every one of us at Persistent is very proud of, and we are on to our next journey. We have reignited our growth. We have brought a market momentum and the discipline to deliver quarter on quarter from here on. With that, I will stop. I will be happy to take any questions. I'll hand over back to Anand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sandeep. Now I'm going to proceed to the statutory business of this meeting. The notice convening the 30th Annual General Meeting, the Directors' Report, and the audited financial statements for the year ended March 31, 2020 have been with you for some time. Therefore, I take them as read. As there are no qualifications or observations in the auditor's reports to the consolidated and standalone financial statements for the year ended March 31, 2020, they are not required to be read. The Secretarial Audit Report and the explanation from the Board on a qualification made therein have been with you for some time. Therefore, I take them as read. Now we proceed to consider the business forming part of the AGM notice. I wish to inform you that the first 6 resolutions are proposed as ordinary businesses. I will read them out one by one. The first one, ordinary business, to receive, consider, and adopt audited unconsolidated financial statements for the financial year ended March 31, 2020. Reports of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon. Number 2, to receive, consider, and adopt the audited consolidated financial statements for the financial year ended March 31, 2020. The revenue for the year was rupees 3,565 crores, a 5.9% growth year on year. The profit for the year was rupees 340 crores. Earnings per equity share were rupees 44.38. The net worth of the company has increased to rupees 2,379 crores from the 2,339 crores from the previous year. The book value per share increased to rupees 311.41 as compared to rupees 295.68 from the previous year. The dividend payout ratio for the year was 30.07% as compared to 29.42% for the previous year. The next resolution, to confirm the payment of the first interim dividend of rupees 9 per equity share and the second interim dividend of rupees 3 per equity share for the financial year 2019-20. Next, to appoint as director in place of Mr. Thomas Kendra, non-executive, non-independent director who retires by rotation and has confirmed his eligibility and willingness to accept the office if reappointed. Number 4, to appoint a director in place of Mr. Sunil Sapre, executive director who retires by rotation and has confirmed his eligibility and willingness to accept the office if reappointed. Number 5, to appoint Messrs. Walker, Chandiok and Company, LLP, Chartered Accountants, as the statutory auditors of the company to hold office from the conclusion of this annual general meeting up to the conclusion of the 35th annual general meeting of the company to be held on or before September 30, 2025 on the proposed remuneration terms. Now I move to the special business. I'm going to read number 8. To appoint Mr. Praveen Kadle as the independent director of the company, not liable to retire by rotation, to hold office for 5 consecutive years from the date of his original appointment, that is, up to April 22nd, 2025. Agenda item number 7 of this meeting is related to my appointment for the next 5 years. Since I am an interested party in this business, I am requesting Mr. Pradeep Bhargav, Independent Director and the Chairman of the Nominations and Remuneration Committee, to accept the chair and propose this agenda item.
Thank you, Anand. Agenda number 7 of this meeting is as follows. To consider and approve reappointment of Dr. Anand Deshpande, Chairman and Managing Director of the company, as the Managing Director of the company, liable to retire by rotation, to hold office for a period of 5 years, that is, from the date of this meeting and up to the conclusion of the 35th annual general meeting of the company, to be held on or before September 30th, 2025. Now I request Anand to chair the next new proceedings.
Thank you, Pradeep. Now that all the proposed resolutions have been read, I am inviting speaker shareholders who have registered themselves in advance to ask these questions. We have list of all the shareholders who have registered themselves as speakers. Our moderator for today's session, Dipti, will announce their names one by one and take the meeting forward. I hand over this session to Dipti. Dipti?
Thank you, Anand. I will first invite the speaker shareholders who have registered themselves in advance to ask the questions. I will one by one announce names of the speaker shareholders and the next speaker in line. You are requested to be ready with your question or speech and turn your video on. While speaking, we request you to use the earphone for better audio clarity and ensure sufficient internet bandwidth and lighting at your location for a clear video quality. Please note that the time allotted to each shareholder is 3 minutes. Please restrict your questions or speech to this time. We will take the questions from the NSDL chat window and our Twitter handle at PersistentSys. You can use the hashtag PersistentAGM2020. If you want to join us live and ask the question on the video, please drop us an email at investors@persistent.com mentioning your DP ID and client ID. Our team will send you the link to join the video conference. Note that we will take all the questions together in one go and will answer them at the end. Let me now open the floor for questions. I request Mr. Shashikant Marathe, first speaker shareholder, to go ahead and express his views. Mr. Dinesh Kotecha, please be ready as you are next in line. Mr. Marathe, please start your video and ask your question.
Good evening, the dignitaries on the dais and our directors from their residences. I am particularly happy that all are safe and working quite all right. I am lucky to speak first at this virtual AGM and also the first AGM in Pune-based company. Our respected Dada started the venture as a humble beginning, and you, Anand Deshpande, sir, joined him on your return from USA. Now it is an international entity. Sir, to be honest, I am impressed by your towering personality and I observe in contrast you are a soft-spoken person and follower of corporate governance in its spirit from the beginning. Our all AGMs have set an example for other companies to imbibe. The historical perspective of the company's progress in the last 30 years highlights versus various unique achievements by the company. The CAGR of revenue, PAT, sales, etc., and also the other ratios ought to be in double digit for past 30 years. I request to compile these and disclose to get a bird's eye view very quickly. Third, I personally congratulate the board, all the employees for their strenuous efforts in bringing the company to its envious standing. I am extremely happy that you all are safe. Every year, I note that the company bags various awards, accolades, and this year there are dozen of them. A nice beginning is made this year by Sir Deshpande ji, your appointment on the Executive Council of COEP. Our CSR Foundation's activities are unique. In addition, your donation in resolving problems arising out of unprecedented epidemic is highly appreciated. What is important for an IT entity is a knowledgeable, contented, energetic capital, and you have nurtured it. Well done. Through the years, through this year's, though the profit after tax to revenue is less than the last year, the critical factor is that the company spent 3.88% more in 1920 on human capital. The rise in personnel cost is an investment, and the company gave more dividends, having less, even though there was less profit after tax year on year. We appreciate your venture. The trade receivables rose, but interesting factor is that the payables also rose more than receivables, and this has boosted our working capital. The exchange gain in this year is quite impressive. It was nil in 1890. It's an achievement, and we must try to keep the tempo up. Interest burden is more, but it is for business development, aim at a debt-free entity. The one issue to be addressed by the company is to make all our subsidiaries self-supporting and reporting profits in the next 5 years. I am told that these subsidiaries have been created to get the business from abroad. But still, we should aim that they all make profits. The finance bill roped in mutual funds for dividend distribution tax. And as such, we must relook at our investments as returns on them are less in 1920. Spell out your strategy to combat unfavorable factors due to COVID-19 during the second half of 2021, enabling the company to maintain good margins. I hope I have completed my speech within the time, and I sincerely thank you for giving me an opportunity to state my views. Frankly, thank you once again.
Thank you, Mr. Marathe. Mr. Kotecha, please be ready with your question. I will call out your name shortly. Ms. Vasudha Dakwe, you are next in line. Mr. Kotecha, please go ahead and ask your question.
Yes. Good afternoon, sir. Can you hear my voice? Can
Yes,
you hear
sir.
my voice?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Deshpande, Anand Deshpande and your team. Sir, first of all, Dada Deshpande, my regards to him, sir. Namaskar to all. Sir, SBRA, that is see beyond and rise above, is a good new tagline of persistence, sir. I like that very much. So secondly, your journey which you have showed today, right from 30th May 1990, when we started the journey from small to big, and still keep the journey growing requires, two things: to do what you know and to know what you do. And I think the name justified. Now, one thing, small thing you can add is that before persistent, you can add a small arrow upward. That means we are beyond persistent now. We are not persistent. We are beyond persistent, sir. Sir, coming to my questions, there were some few questions, like in this last 3 months of 100 days, how have we been able to cope up with, our what you can say, basically, just 1 second. The de-learning and the relearning experience that you had in this last 100 days or the first 90 days of the current year. I mean, what was the basic, idea now? This COVID is affecting us. Now, the government of India is saying that, okay, we'll feed the poor up till November. That means they're expecting the COVID to extend up till November and beyond. So how are we, being ready to face this uncertainty or this black swan continuing now, which was there for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. Now it continues for 1 full year. Where will we be placed? What are the alternatives that you have planned for this? Overcoming all these things. And sir, secondly, this level of uncertainty is much more to the preservation of the cash. I mean, can you give some more details about this strategy of, the financing of our projects, whatever they are there now, whatever we are going to do in the future? So thirdly, you have saved a lot of housekeeping expenses now. Petrol cost has been saved, the traveling cost has been saved, complimentary cost have been saved, maintenance cost have been saved. Now, how do you evaluate it? And tell me something about the data security when people are working from home. How is the data secured now? That is one more thing that I would like to know. And sir, again, the business landscape. The current clients, serving, have they taken more services from us, or how are you pursuing new clients now in this pandemic? That is also one thing I'd like to know. And sir, all the best because my time is up. All the best for your what you can say, the commitment shown towards Atmanirbharta. I just want to know one more thing, sir. How many election bonds have you brought during the year? What is the investment that we have made in election bonds? Thank you very much, sir. One small thing in the presentation, the details of the slide which you were giving were hidden behind the photographs of the directors. Now we could not read the entire slide as they were given. Make it convenient above, not behind the photographs of the stakeholders. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Miss Vasudha Dakwe, you will be next in line. I'll call your name shortly. Mr. Rishikesh Wagh, you are next in line. Please be ready. Miss Dakwe, please ask your question. Miss Dakwe, you can please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello. Good afternoon, Chairman Sir and other Board of Directors and my fellow shareholders. Myself, Vasudha. I would like to congratulate Company Secretary and his team for sending me a soft copy of the report well in advance, which mentioned clear and transparent picture of the company. I want to ask 2 questions. What is the roadmap of next 2-3 years? Second, what is the surplus layoff policy to our current employees, if applicable? With this, I support all resolution and wish all the best for coming years. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dakwe. Mr. Rishikesh Wagh, please be ready with your question. I will call out your name shortly. Ms. Renuka Upadhyay, you are next in line. Mr. Wagh, please go ahead and ask your question. You can also keep your video on.
Good evening, Chairman Sir. Good evening, the entire board and CS Amit. I just want to say first thing that all the arrangements which are made for this virtual conference or virtual AGM are excellent. Every year we look forward to meet for AGM, but this year we are on the virtual platform. All the arrangements are very much excellent, and it is giving me a feel that I'm attending the AGM personally. So thank you for that. I have one question which is regarding that which are the geographical areas which the company is preferring for the acquisition of companies? What is the strategy? That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Wagh, for the appreciation. Ms. Renuka, please be ready with your question. I will call out your name shortly. Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni, you are next in line. Ms. Renuka, please ask your question.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving me opportunity to ask a question. now that everybody is working from home, so has the company taken any decision of considering working from home as a long-term plan? So that is my question. Thank you. Best of luck.
Thank you. Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni, please be ready with your question. I will call out your name shortly. Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni, you are next in line. Mr. Sandeep, you can please go ahead and ask your question. Mr. Sandeep Kulkarni?
Hello, good evening, board members.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to know as to what was the rationale behind acquisition of the German entity, Uperience GmbH. Can you please throw some light on that? And thank you for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni, please be ready with your question. I will call out your name shortly. Mr. Gangurde, you are next in line. Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you well.
Yeah. Thanks. Good evening to all the chairman, sir, and the entire board of directors, and also the compliance team for making this meeting very successful so far. I am going to ask only one question, and this question is having some people of HR perspective.
Mr. Gangurde, please complete your question. There seems to be some bandwidth issue. We'll move on to the next speaker shareholder, Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni. Sir, please go ahead and ask your question. Okay, we'll move on and Mr. Gaurav Kulkarni, the ninth speaker shareholder. Sir, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello,
Yes,
am
sir.
I audible?
Yes, sir, we can hear you well.
First of all, the facilities made available for video conferencing are excellent. I would like to congratulate the entire team and especially Company Secretary Amit Atre for that, for making the facilities available. My questions, actually there are two questions. The first one is, since the companies have subsidiaries across the globe, which is the subsidiary which is generating the highest revenue? And from COVID perspective, because since COVID-19 pandemic has hit the entire world this year, so how it is impacting the subsidiaries and how that will impact the top line of the company in the current financial year, that is 2021. So the company is planning for that. So, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask the questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was the last question from this set of speaker shareholders. Let me now check and read out some questions from the NSDL chat box. I see a couple of questions lined up so far in the chat box. Let me read them out for our directors. So, first question is from Mr. Shailesh Naik. The question is, kindly elaborate on healthcare, especially multi-omics project. Is it at pilot stage or we have clients in CRO space working with us on this? The second question asked by Mr. Naik is, what are top 3 priorities for us in next 3 years? Second question is from Muninder Singh. The question is, as all the industries are affected due to COVID-19 pandemic, the aging period of receivables are increased or any delay in the payments from the customers. Third question is from Mr. Neeraj Punya. Can we expect a bonus announcement today or tomorrow? third question is from Mr. Rajan Baptiste. The question is, any major product development work or company is involved in 5G networks? Next question is from Ranahaya Rathi. The question is, does company has business interest in Indian telecom market? And second question asked by her is company planning for Indian retail sector? She wishes the company good luck. Next question is from Mr. Sagar. The question is, what are the challenges and opportunities the company foresee in near future? Next question is from Mahesh Makhija. The question is, most of IT companies' employees are working from home. What is our strategy in this area? Do you foresee moving to work from home with use of digitalization and ensuring safety of the client security? Next question is from Mr. Vishwanathan. The question is, he's asking about the preparedness under the COVID-19 situation. Okay, so with that, I have asked all the questions posted on the NSDL chat box. Since we have opened our Twitter channel for questions, let me check if we have any questions coming in on that. We do not see any questions so far on the Twitter in the queue. So we have, by any chance, if your question is not addressed, feel free to write to us on investors@persistent.com and we will get back. Okay, we have received one request from a speaker shareholder. Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni, please go ahead and ask your question, sir. Sir, we have unmuted you. Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni, can you please ask your question? Hello, sir, Mr. Sudhir Kulkarni. I think there is some bandwidth issue. So we'll move on. With this, we conclude the question session. We will now collate all our questions and hand it over to the respective directors to answer them together. While we do this, let me play a short video for you all.
The Persistent Digital Bank and Credit Union solution brings you a powerful new way to transform your digital customer experience. Our cloud-based solution will help you rapidly deliver cutting-edge digital experiences that your customers will love. Using the mobile app, here's how easily your customers can sign up for a digital deposit account. The app's integrated eKYC technology allows new customers to complete the registration process anywhere without a trip to a branch. To start the process, a customer must scan their ID and take a selfie to create a match. Information from the ID gets auto-populated, and the customer can confirm the details here. They will receive a 6-digit code to verify their phone number. Next, they'll create a unique ID and password to enroll, and choose from various authentication mechanisms to access their account faster and keep it secure. For voice authentication, they can create a quick speech sample. Based on pitch and tone, a third-party voice biometrics engine will create a model of your customer's voice and register them. To make a deposit, they must choose a payment method and scan their card. Third-party APIs will then pre-populate the details, so your customer just has to enter the CVV and deposit amount, and our core banking system will take care of the rest. The digital deposit account registration is complete. Now, your customer can log in anytime using their preferred authentication method and manage their finances in one place. With Persistent Digital Bank and Credit Union solution, you too can deploy new digital capabilities fast to stay relevant and competitive. Learn more at persistent.com.
Thank you all for your patience. Let me now hand over the cue to Anand to take it from here.
Thank you, Dipti, and thank you all for your very thoughtful questions. We really appreciate your involvement and participation in the well-being of the company. We are going to take turns to answer these questions. Let me start by answering questions that are sort of addressed to me. So the first question from Mr. Kotecha, in the last 100 days in COVID scenario, and that this might extend beyond November, how do we plan to prepare ourselves and how do we overcome all of these? So I have two comments to make on this question, Mr. Kotecha. First, of course, is that, in this uncertain times and when we have all these kinds of uncertainties and black swan event, the normal strategy to follow is to think in short cycles and move on as you go along. So if you are agile and are able to take decisions on an ongoing way, then you have a much better chance of success in a difficult environment. Thankfully for the tech and the IT industry, this COVID has helped companies like us to look at more and different kinds of businesses as everyone is trying to go digital at this time. So while it is very hard to predict how the world might unfold in the next few years or in the next 6 months, we have been trying our best to stay in touch with all our customers and roll on as we go along. And thankfully, we have seen fairly good traction in the digital technologies that customers are starting to implement. The second question that you had from Mr. Kotecha was regarding the housekeeping expenses and how they're being saved and evaluated. So in the short term, we have seen some expenses being saved and they are being tracked in the financial statements. And Sunil will comment a bit on it. And also we'll have some of the details of how the quarter worked out when we announce our quarterly results at the end of the week. There is also additional expenses that have happened this quarter and likely to happen as people are starting to work from home. The communication facilities and several other network requirements that had to be enhanced so that people could work home also contributed to the changes in the cost equations. So it is still early to predict if this is going to be cash positive or is it going to be cash negative, but we will look at it on an ongoing basis as we go along. How is the data secured when we work from home? Clearly, this is a huge challenge, and we have made VPN and other network capabilities available on our network that allow us to allow individuals to log in from home in select partitions of the data sets that they are required to work in. So for many of our facilities, we are able to access cloud-based features and get security to happen even though people are working from their own homes and across their own networks. So there are a few questions that I'm going to hand to Chris right now regarding pursuing new clients and other kinds of things. So let me invite Chris to answer a few of the next few questions, and then I'll come back and take the next few after that. Chris?
Excellent. Thank you. So one of the questions that I received asked here is, how are we pursuing new clients in the pandemic? Quite simply, the pandemic has done an incredible job of fueling client curiosity. The number of clients asking us questions with the pandemic has grown exponentially. And we've engaged digitally from a marketing side to be able to work with them at the same time. So as we've revamped marketing, we've moved from on-premise marketing or at-event marketing to be able to engage with these clients, whether it's through webcasts or whether it's through other videos. But quite simply, we've moved to a video and in a digital-oriented format. We also find the market alive with client curiosity, and it's a really good time to state what you can do and how you can help clients, and we find it very receptive. So new client acquisition does not seem to be a major issue at this point in time. Adam, next question.
Yeah, I think you can go through your stack, Chris, and answer some of the others as well that have been marked for you.
Yeah, that's just perfect. Let's talk a little bit about the roadmap. There's several questions on priorities and roadmap for the next couple of years. We have basically three primary goals when we look about our roadmap and we look at the next couple of years. We're going to talk about being focused on profitable growth and making sure that that's a keen focus area for us. You heard me in my video talk about growth as the first thing we wanted to make sure was in our minds and created a system for that. For profitable growth, we want to, underneath that, we want to go after the regions of the world that we think will continue to round us up as an international company. And so that means also a focus in the European region, in addition to our focus that we already have strong in North America and our focus certainly inside of India. But we want to grow Europe some more. So that'll be part of our focus. And then last, we've hit the right thread in stride in thinking about clients as multi-year and thinking about them holistically. So you'll see us focus on clients with multi-year contracts. You'll see us focusing with them on multi-domain or multi-discipline contracts at the same time. So growth inside the client set we have certainly is a key priority as well, and bringing all of the system to bear with them. So that's how I would talk about all the questions that have to do with roadmap and growth. Certainly, there is a question also regarding layoffs. We are working hard to make sure that as we go through the day-to-day bumps of the pandemic, that we don't need to do a layoff. So we're very fiscally conscious. We're very conscious on our expenses. We have a set of detailed actions in place around all of our expense items that we have in the company. Our philosophy, and I want to maintain that this is our philosophy, will be to bring our people to work and to keep them employed and to keep moving them into other projects. And our outlook at this point in time is that is our foreseeable future. And we foresee actually growth in terms of needing new people, which is actually on our minds in terms of how we continue to fuel the growth that we see in front of us and the bookings that we see coming at us at the same time. So I think that handles those couple questions. Geographical areas that we're going to be interested in for M&A type activity. Likewise, this is a very simple answer. We're going to be interested in North America. We're going to be interested in M&A in Europe, but not exclusively. We are open to some other characteristics and shapes of M&A, but if you ask me for general focus, we're going to be looking for companies with active go-to-markets, active clients, active sales activity in either the United States or Europe. Uperience then sits into this question that we have around why did we acquire the Uperience company, which is a German entity? And there's an excellent question asked about the rationale behind that acquisition as well. Uperience quite simply helps us round out our strategy to be a premier provider of Salesforce capabilities internationally. And it fits right in with our theme of being able to grow into international companies, to have large multi-year presence with company, not just to do short projects. And so Uperience, bringing a German entity to bear, allowed us to acquire a key set of personnel in Europe. And it wasn't just Germany. While it was a German entity, they brought a strong component of people on board that were also in the United Kingdom. And we combined that with our Parts acquisition that brings us a Swiss and a French component together, and we now have a European practice. And we now have a European team, and we have a European management structure that allows us to operate in Germany, Switzerland, France, and the UK. And so Uperience was that company that helped bring that together. It's a part of our goal to maintain and continue to advance ourselves as a platinum provider of Salesforce capabilities internationally where we do work. Other questions, we talked about priorities. I'm just looking through the list. Challenges the company faces. As I look forward into the next couple months and the next couple of years, obviously we are keenly following the worldwide financial markets and the performance of companies that we work with. We see them all doing a degree of reset, and our participation in those resets will be keen. So far to date, we have been a participator with our clients in their restructuring and in any prioritization efforts that they do. So it's been our privilege to be a part of those discussions, but we'll be focusing on those in terms of challenges to make sure that we are a part of it. All of our clients are in some degree of reevaluation, and that provides an opportunity for us to help explain more of what the system can do, which we are doing, It also provides an opportunity for us to make sure we evaluate current projects and that we're active at the same time. We are growing, and so we continue to participate in the worldwide technology resource market. And so skilled people, skilled resources are always the focus. We have a machine that is running around that, but it needs continual feeding. And as we watch things unfold, we'll always be watching skilled people and resources also. So hopefully that gives you an idea of key challenges that are out there. Our clients are challenged with moving to digital technology. It's a prime area for us to help them, but we have to explain that well to them about how we can help them with that move to cloud and cloud digital technology at the same time. And so that remains kind of a core technology focus for us to help bring all these multiple vendors that are bringing digital technology and clouds together out to our clients. Anand, I think I've exhausted my list, and I want to thank you for the time.
Yes, thanks, Chris. That was very good. I think you have answered all the questions that were assigned to you. I'm going to next request Sunil Sapre, our CFO, who has a large number of questions addressed to him regarding the subsidiaries and the financial matters. Let me request Sunil to now answer these questions. After that, I'm going to request Sandeep to take on the next set of questions. So Sunil, can you please answer the next set of questions, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Anand. So there was a question regarding how many election bonds have we purchased during the year from Mr. Kotecha, I guess. So we have not subscribed to any election bonds as such. The question was with respect to the fact that all industries are affected by COVID-19 pandemic. Does this affect the aging period of receivables, or do you see any delay in payments from the customers? So this is a challenge that all the industries, the question is very valid. And we do see slight delay in our recoveries from customers. It's a short-term phenomenon that all the businesses are trying to adjust. And as you would have seen in the last quarter, we have reasonable provision made for any expected credit loss that could arise out of this situation. So currently we do rigorous follow-up and keep to ensure that the cash flow is protected as much as possible. The impact, I would say, is not very significant. There was a question, can we expect a bonus announcement today or tomorrow? So currently there is no bonus proposal under consideration, and the board will examine it at an appropriate time. There is a question with respect to which subsidiary contributes the maximum revenue. So obviously the key subsidiary, material subsidiary that we have is in the US. So that is the major subsidiary contributing the revenue. There was another question with respect to, just let me filter the list.
I think you pretty much got all of the questions, Sunil.
Yeah, probably I think that is all. That's right. Thanks.
Let me now invite Sandeep Kalra to answer a few questions. Sandeep, could you please take the next set?
Sure, Anand. So let me go through the questions one by one. So the first question was from Rajan Baptist. Any major product development work we do in 5G or LTE networks? So we are involved, Rajan, in multiple 5G, LTE, NFV projects. To give you an example, we are working with a leading independent software vendor, a software company here in the US, in doing product/platform development, which is a cloud-based product for 5G test automation, network service performance monitoring, and assurance. So that's an example, and there are multiple other products/projects we are involved in the 5G domain. The other question is the company, or has the company got any interest in the telecom market in India? So we are selectively working in the Indian telecom market with multiple different service providers. These are to do either custom application / product / platform development, or in some places they're using our telecom API monetization product that we have, the Epona product, and there might be some other work that we might be doing on low code no code platforms. The next question is on the Indian retail sector. So we have been involved with some companies in the Indian retail sector. We have done, for example, e-commerce platform for a retail company. Similarly, we have been doing application or platform development, whether it is a custom platform or a low code no code based application development in the retail sector. The last one is, what is the percentage of a company's top line expected from telecom vertical? So from our perspective, we consider telecom vertical as one of the emerging verticals. We do not announce separately the revenues from the telecom vertical. It's an important part of our portfolio, but since it's not necessarily as majority portion, we basically classify our revenues across 4 segments, so on. Telecom is not one of those. So with that, I think I have answered the question on my list. Back to you, Anand.
Sandeep, I think we have answered all the questions that were listed, except one that is remaining, which I will answer regarding home working. There are 2 questions relating to the question that are we going to see more and more people working from home. So I think we are still mixed on the benefits of working from home. We are trying to figure out if we can do some more working from home, and that is definitely going to happen. Will all of us be continuously working from home? I'm not so sure. I think there are certain benefits of coming to work and meeting together as well. So I think the verdict is still not out. We are going to explore and try out different options over the next 6 months, and depending on how things work out, we shall make a final decision on how many people and in how many ways are we going to work from home. With this, I think I have answered all the questions, and I hope we have answered them to your satisfaction. If you have any clarifications or additional questions, please do not hesitate to write to investors@persistent.com. Okay, now I have the pleasant part of the agenda to complete. We wish to inform you that pursuant to Section 108 of the Companies Act 2013, and the rules made thereunder, the company has provided remote e-voting facility for its members to cast their votes electronically. The remote e-voting period was open from 12:01 a.m. Tuesday, July 21, 2020 to Thursday, July 23, 2020 till 5 p.m. Further, as stated in the AGM notice, those members who have not cast their votes through remote e-voting may cast their votes through e-voting till 6:30 p.m. IST. Those members who have already cast their votes through remote e-voting are not allowed to cast their votes again. The scrutinizer will submit the consolidated report on the e-voting to the company by Sunday, July 26, 2020 by 4 p.m. IST. Once the said results are submitted by the scrutinizer, the company will immediately communicate the results to BSE and NSE, and it will be further uploaded on the website of the company and NSDL. The results will also be posted on the company's notice board as soon as they are declared. Subject to receipt of requisite number of votes, the resolutions shall be deemed to be passed on the date of this meeting, that is July 24th, 2020. We have now come to the end of the formal meeting. I am glad to announce that we at Persistent Systems recognize our social obligations and as responsible social citizens have earmarked funds out of our net profit for giving donations to certain qualifying institutions and organizations. In April 2020, the company committed to contribute rupees 25 crores or 3.3 million to support COVID relief. These funds will be used to support communities globally with food, rehabilitation, treatment, vaccines, and research, and also to support medical professionals. I am proud to state that the Persistent Foundation has started to deploy these funds effectively. The average net profit of the company within the meaning of Section 135 of the Companies Act for 3 consecutive financial years ended on March 31, 2020 is rupees 471.47 crores. Therefore, 2% contribution of Persistent Systems towards the CSR initiatives is rupees 9.42 crores. This amount will be donated to Persistent Foundation, who will deploy these funds for a good cause. Mr. Prakash Telang will be retiring as independent director of the company after this meeting on completion of his 10-year term. I'd like to take this opportunity and thank him. I acknowledge his contribution to the board and the company during his tenure as independent director of the company. We will miss his astute understanding of business and insights on operations of the company. I hope he continues to stay engaged with the company. I now request Mr. Telang to share his thoughts with the members.
Good evening, shareholders. Thank you, Anand, for the nice words. It's been my pleasure to be associated with this company for the last 10 years, and I've been very impressed with the high corporate standards that they've maintained and the concern for the society and the open atmosphere. And Anand has been an exemplary leader. So I've been very delighted in working in this area. As you know, that I come with a background from Tata, so my expectations of corporate governance standards were very high. But I must say that Persistent matches all those standards very well. The company is in good shape at the moment, and I believe will continue growing further. My best wishes to the company. I'll of course be the part of Persistent family as a shareholder going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Telang. I wish you and your family all the best of health and happiness. Mr. Kiran Umrutkar will be retiring as independent director of the company after this meeting on completion of his 10-year term. I take this opportunity to thank him and I acknowledge his contribution to the board and to the company. Kiran has led the audit committee as its chairman all through his tenure in the company. Known for his diligence, he has set higher standards of practices and has ensured that Persistent Systems maintains higher standards of ethics, governance, and integrity. Let me invite Kiran to share a few words.
Thank you, Anand, for those kind words. I've been associated with Persistent as an independent director the last 10 years. It has been an amazing journey. I joined the board when the revenue was $127 million. And when I'm leaving the board, our revenue has touched $500 million. During this period, I was the chairman of the audit committee and executive committee of the board. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the shareholders for their support. I would also like to thank board directors on the board, senior executives of the company, particularly former CEO Rohit Kamath, current CFO Sunil Sapre, and the entire finance team. I would also like to thank former company secretary Vivek Sadale and current company secretary Amit Atre and his team. I'll be failing in my duty if I didn't express my gratitude to Dr. Anand Deshpande, chairman of the company, for reposing his confidence in me in all these 10 years. Today, I would like to fondly remember Dada, Anand's father, and Shri P.B. Kulkarni, who initially inducted me into the board. In the end, I would like to thank statutory auditors of the company, Deloitte and Grant Thornton, for their cooperation and understanding during my 2-year tenure as the chairman of the audit committee. In conclusion, I thank all the staff of Persistent and wish my successor, Mr. Praveen Kadle, every success in his tenure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Umrutkar. I wish you and your family all the best of health and happiness.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have come to the last part of the meeting. We will end this meeting with the national anthem. I'm really proud to say that we have had more than 100 members participating in this meeting through video conferencing. We are grateful to all of you for having participated in this meeting. Thank you very much. Take care and stay safe. We hereby declare that this meeting has closed. We will play this national anthem, after which you may disconnect from the meeting. Thank you.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्रविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नाम में जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे